When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's coverage of Racers Elite as the Family Traditions RV Rentals Fixed Truck Series battles for its championship. Tonight we're at iRacing's virtual 5-flag speedway to determine who becomes the next champion here in Racers Elite here on Maconi Entertainment. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring action from all types of racing for this series and many others. No matter what you are racing, we can bring the action to life. My name is Justin Prince. Alongside the booth for tonight is Dylan Coyle. Christian Hill is our producer as we get set to go from Florida. Tonight, it's down to just a couple chances for the championship. There are right now 3 drivers separated by just about 6 points. And anything can happen when it comes to the championship, Dylan.
Yeah, absolutely, and a pleasant good evening to everybody as we get ready to go short track racing to end this Family Traditions RV Rentals Fixed Truck Series season with Racers Elite. Andrew Teff leads Sean Dunaway by 5 points, and Blair Hollyman is just 1 point further behind. Alex Gates, while still technically mathematically able to win this championship, depending on the amount of drivers in the race, the opportunity to do it is a very, very slim and specific window that most likely requires him to have multiple bonus points, with drivers like Taft specifically getting 0 bonus points. So I don't really see that being possible. Nonetheless, though, it's going to be a fun battle here at 5 flags. You know, we've got 3 drivers with a large chunk of the wins this season. Hollyman only 1 win on the year. Brandon Sanfilippo has 1 win. Troy Thomas has 2 wins, as you see in the standings right there where he is points-wise. Not going to win the championship, though. It comes down to the points in the final 4 races in that chase, and we're going to try and decide who that is tonight.
It's going to be an interesting night here, and it's going to be at a very interesting racetrack, to say the very least. Especially since this is normally not one of the tracks you would see the trucks on coming up tonight. It's a short track that requires a lot of hard braking, but it's also one that just so happens to host things like Snowball Derby. So it's a bit of a different twist to decide who wins the championship. It's going to be interesting who's put in the practice to make sure they're up to speed here tonight.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it will be a very rhythmic racetrack where you're going to have to deal with traffic, right? This is a half-mile track. There is going to be a ton of traffic tonight if we get a lot of green flag racing. There's no question about it. Snowball Derby, for everybody who doesn't know, which you should know, I would assume you would know if you're any iRacing short track driver, is a very popular super late model event that happens every year. Usually it's known for some explosive racing action, and if you can get there, try to. It's still on my bucket list, JP.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be an interesting night here for these drivers here tonight to see how they withstand potential for contact here. especially with there being a lot of attrition that can happen, especially in the corners, with the potential for dives around here today. We do have 14 drivers in the field tonight to race it out for 160 laps. A lot of laps here for the season finale, to say the very least, Dylan. But it's going to be about who can survive the chaos, to say the very least. Especially since we still have that 65% fuel limit. That will also be a factor for drivers to think about.
Yeah, 1,000%. You know, that fuel limit has seen some races kind of be a deciding factor, especially in this championship. If we go back to last week, right, we kind of thought, Andrew Teff's got this in the bag, right? He's one of the leaders late. He's going to gain another sizable chunk of points. He was already up around 20 points. I think it was 17 points over Blair Hollyman at that moment. It looked like the championship fight was going to be over before we even got to 5 flags. Well, that's not at all what happened, because in the last pit stop of the day under green flag conditions, of course, Andrew Teft got a black flag going into pit road, went a lap down, and was never able to recover. There was just not enough time left. And actually a really good fight back from Sean Dunaway took away Blair Hollyman's opportunity to gain even more points. I mean, this should be a 1 or 2 point race, but a really bad last lap or two for Hollyman put him right now 6 points back with Hollyman, or Dunaway, in 5 points back.
An interesting night on docket. Let's take a look at your starting grid here tonight from 5 flags. On the pole tonight, Troy Thomas sets the pole time. Brandon Sanfilippo will start alongside for tonight. Sean Dunaway's been good on the short tracks this season. He starts 3rd. Blair Holloman will start in 4th. Philip Archibald rounds to the top 5. Andrew Temp gets the start on the outside of row number 3. Then, next up, it's Jesse Fox. He makes an appearance alongside Alex Gates in the 77. Top 10 rounded out by Truth Hoke and Riley Frost starts in 10th, Dylan.
Going down to P11 is Barry Nelson. He was the last qualifier tonight, just over half a second back. Alex Teft alongside on the outside of row number 6. Kyle Hess in the Hess truck alongside Kensley Smith in row 7. Back to 15th, it is Kirby Wayne Scott. And we've only got 15 drivers here tonight. And I can tell you that I think that mathematically does eliminate Alex Gates from being able to win this title.
So just about ready to go. We're looking at your race now with slower corner temperatures and the other side of the corners. 65% fuel room tonight. As well, fast repair, one available. 160 laps. Should be about a couple stopper potentially on the gas. But your final keys to victory before we get things started.
I mean, if you're one of the 3 championship contenders, it's just try to get up front early, avoid the chaos in behind, and deal with the traffic. It's going to be thick, and it's going to be the difference between potentially winning the title and finishing oh so close.
Happy to have you with us here at Maconi Entertainment. The green flag waves. Racers Elite is underway from 5 flags. Good start for Troy Thomas, but it's a traffic jam for second. Sanfilippo tries to maintain the top, now slams through the bottom as they make their way through 1 and 2. It's going to be pretty hard to pass. It's going to take a lot of rhythm. We'll see who's able to move forward here tonight, Dylan.
Yeah, 1,000%. It will be a very bottom lane heavy kind of race. If you can get a little bit ahead on corner entry, you have some momentum to get a move done around mid-corner. We're seeing that right now in this battle for 3rd with Blair Hollyman trying to move on through. Sean Dunaway on the inside. I mean, right now, they would be dead even tied in points. And the first tiebreaker, as we've been told today, by Andrew Teft, is top 10s. Well, both of them would be tied there. Then it would come down to the amount of race, or the position you finish in this finale. So that is the tiebreaker set. That is the tiebreaker rule And right now, those two would be tied in the first two segments. I don't think we know the third segment, but Andrew Teft is back in fifth. He would still win the title.
So much in terms of the math to think about here. Kyle Hess, by the way, did not get going. So only 14 on track to confirm here tonight. So all of this is being said, it's going to be difficult with how this is going to play out for some of the drivers. Teft, we know, is good in the long run. Dunaway the same. Apparently, there was a bounty when it came to who won the championship back in July, Dylan. Blair Holyman said he would give $25 to the person who would beat him or Teft for the title. So in other words, there's some money on the line here if Dunaway can pull this off here in the 01 truck.
Yeah, there's a little bit of gamesmanship going on with that one, and the odds are very slim, right? The odds are very slim that it's not going to be Teft, or you said it was Blair Holyman making that statement as well.
Yep.
So Dunaway 5 points back, now 4 points back officially as we run. That will be something to remember in case Dunaway is the champion. But right now, that $25 is staying within the team.
There is one thing, Blair Holyman's made it clear that if he was to get the championship, the 01 was, that Hollywood would put a Hello Kitty logo on his truck in response. And remember, Andrew Teft is when things shuffle to Race Elite Network next season, which is the in-house broadcasting arm. Andrew Teft will not be in the cockpit, so he would be in the broadcast booth for next season. So there is the chance of a new champion or a non-repeat winner if Teft also gets the championship. So there's a lot of different dynamics here tonight. All these drivers are in the midst of a parade, meanwhile we're on the bottom.
Yeah, 100%. There is a distinct chance of a champion from this race not being able to be a champion next year, just because that's kind of what the deal is, right? You go up into the booth and you're not racing full time. That's kind of the deal. So if Andrew Teft is able to put another championship in his trophy room in Racers Elite competition, I think he's probably thinking, it's time to retire for now. Let other people have a shot here. But other people do have a shot here, but we haven't seen much movement throughout the timetable so far. Let's talk strategy real quick. On fuel, he should be able to make this in one stop. On tires, I don't know if that's going to be the case.
So right now, everyone just pacing themselves, sorting themselves the long run here. Of note, Wayne Scott has already dropped back 8 seconds over the course of 16 laps. Not been the greatest days for them, but it's been solid so far over the front for these two black-based trucks. Right now, San Filippo running 17.8, same for Holyman. 17.7s for Dunaway is the small difference. So it's so far looking pretty calm here. Holyman is trying to use that outside of the racetrack a little bit here and trying to see if there's any chance to get the runaround from there. You can see it's making little inroads on quarter apex.
Yeah, just a little bit more, and each pass is going to have to come after a lot of hard work each set of corners. Now, the nice thing is, because it is a short track, right, they're going around these sets of corners 160 times each. So a lot more opportunities to attack, a lot more opportunities to have to defend against that attack right now. Blair Holyman knows if he gets by San Filippo, there's just one spot between he and getting another fair chunk of bonus points by winning the race and getting, or not a chunk of bonus points, but just more point separation between first and second, and then the bonus points from getting a lap led. I'll do the math, but there's an opportunity for Holyman or Dunaway to straight up win the race and be champion.
So much in terms of that, but Holyman is trying to do his best to do whatever play there for the pass. So the 32 jumps up to second with that. Still less than a second back of the leader. Dunaway is still your quickest truck on the racetrack, though. And remember, we talked about his abilities on short tracks. The 01 right now is not outscoring the 32 like he needs to, though. Would need depth to stay in quicksand. Well, Dunaway picks up spots to be able to have a shot here. Dunaway is trying to go for a third spot in the backdrop here.
So if Dunaway can get P3, which it looks like he's able to do, they might still be side by side, but it should be an easy move at this point. Right now, I mean, it's still just 1 point per position until you get into the lead. There's a 4-point buffer between P1 and P2. Add another point to that because you get a bonus point for leading a lap. That's an obvious kind of thing. And by the time that this race ends, we'll be able to tell you who has had the fastest lap of the race. That gets you another bonus point. So that will most likely come into play by the time this race is over. But if Dunaway is able to get into the lead of this race and just win this race without a lap led from Andrew Teft or Blair Hollyman, or excuse me, I should say, if Hollyman is able to get into the lead of this race without a lap led by Dunaway or Andrew Teft, both things I don't know if that's got a high chance of happening, then it'll come down to either 1 point or a tiebreaker for the title, regardless of what happens elsewhere. So what we're seeing right now is Hollyman continuing to do the work to chase down Troy Thomas, but look who is in that very familiar looking 98. We haven't talked too much about Andrew Teft on the racetrack as he wiggles out the exit of turn 2 all that much tonight. Now obviously we've talked about the points permutations where he is involved, but he has not made too many inroads up the order, only one position gain, and that's from starting in P6 and just getting around Riley Frost on the intro of this race. And way up to the middle group, not the preferred line, goes Brandon Sanfilippo. He's been struggling on those tires, has been dropping a lot of laps or a lot of time as this race has reached into the 20 or so lap count. And now Teft, another point gained if he's able to get this position and get the move done, would be a massive, massive move for him when it comes to just holding on to this championship position that he's got. And he clears Sanfilippo. That is P4 for the driver of that 98 truck. That Buffalo Bills scheme right there, continuing to march forward to another championship. As it stands right now, he is still champion, although the gap does and would come down just a little bit. Right now, remember, 5 points up on Dunaway, 6 points up on Blair Hollyman. Hollyman would get to -4. Sean Dunaway would also be at -4 points. That's why getting into P1 is such a massive thing. We're looking back, Philip Archibald trying to get underneath Truth Hoke, and these two are going very, very much giving each other room, at least through the midpoint of the corner. Archibald not even coming up close to maximizing that straight line speed on the exit of the corner. Hoke is all the way up against the wall. I mean, you can get a lot more speed and get a lot more out of that truck if you're able to get that arc a little bit wider, right? You're not struggling off at as much speed by turning that steering wheel to the left as much as he is on corner exit. And right there, the 43 truck gets a little bit loose. That's Alex Teft, Andrew Teft's brother, of course, who has at times this year challenged Andrew Teft for some race wins. But right now, you can't go 3 wide on this racetrack. You're just kind of stuck 2 wide and trying to pick the best line. And these two drivers, well, they're giving us a little bit of a parade right now. I haven't seen too much between both of them to try and hold position or keep position for the time being. Sean Dunaway, Blair Hollyman, side by side, massive for the championship. also starting to come up on some traffic. The quicker that one of these drivers can get clear, get free, the easier it will be for Sean Dunaway. He is a bigger threat at the moment than Blair Hollyman is for the championship battle when it comes to Andrew Teft and his hopes of winning this battle. Side by side for second place with the championship leader lurking in the background, JP.
And still trying to figure out any way he can to try and get some separation. Teft is doing exactly what he needs to do here. Wants to be able to win a championship. Just long laps inside the top 5. Making it hard from there on out. Still no move made by the 01 for the inside to clear. This is just the nature of 5 flags to clear as there's the slide. Dunaway holds on. Dunaway still gained ground a bit on the bottom after the slide.
I think Dunaway's got him coming through this corner. Hollyman's going to really try and hang it around the outside, and he's doing an admirable job, but the position has been gained by Dunaway. Andrew Teft has closed in enough and now goes down the inside of Blair Hollyman, and wow, he makes it look easy.
Yeah, nicely done by Dunaway, and now the sights are on the race lead. Troy Thomas holds on in front. Thomas, a 2-time winner this season, remember, when it comes to Racers Elite in this series. Just currently trying to chip away at that gap. The last time Thomas went to victory lane was all the way back at the Chicago Street Course. Also won in Talladega when it comes to those races. So, Harmon not running where he needs to be now for his championship sake.
Yeah, no, not at all. And I can tell you this, if Andrew Teft doesn't get a bonus point this race and Blair Hollyman, or I should say Sean Dunaway, wins this race without the most laps led, which is looking likely at this point. Troy Thomas has led every single lap so far and does not get the fastest lap, so that would mean he would have 5 more points over a bonus pointless Andrew Teft. If Teft comes in second and Dunaway wins this race, they would be tied. That would mean nothing in terms of the tiebreaker, except for the most top 10s would go to Teft. There's another position loss for Hollyman, and he's starting to see this championship fight get more difficult. The road to winning that crown, it is not looking all so clear as it was just around 20 or so laps ago.
Yep, so right now this run already quickly zipping its way on through. Pit stops have to be at least 20, 30 laps out at minimum. On this as well, the field has kept it clean at least tonight. No major dive bombs, no major bits of contact yet, nothing like that. Everyone's been able to handle themselves well. The question is going to be, how will Dunaway handle things for the race lead, because he's already caught up to Thomas, so has the 98.
I mean, JP, there's actually a big question that I've got here, and it's if you are Blair Hollyman, who continues to fall back, do you try and go with an alternate strategy? Oh, don't lose it! I think you've got to come down the pits and make this a 2-stop race instead of a 1-stop race. You're already seeing your times plummet around 1.5 seconds slower than what you were in your best lap times. Yeah, they can make it a 1-stop race on fuel, but I think Hollyman just has to roll the dice here. I mean, look at that. He is losing control of that truck, and now we've got a 3-way fight for the lead of this race.
Here we go, a dime to the inside. Dunaway has the speed. It's been the fastest on long run just about the entire night. So far, fall is about 1 second, give or take. Dunaway looking to make sure he takes this lead easily. Thomas doing what he can from the outside, though, is doing a solid job keeping pace to pace, but the inside the faster line, and Teft wants to come win.
The only driver who has had a very consistent 1 second of fall off is Brandon Sanfilippo, and look at that, he's lurking in 4th in the background. Sean Dunaway led that lap, is in the lead of this race as it stands in this very weird twin-size blanket-looking fight between the top 3. This would mean Dunaway wins the championship. Now it changes where Teft gets the tiebreaker. because he would be 5 points back of Dunaway in this race. He's 5 points ahead of Dunaway, but he would hold the tiebreaker, Teft would. But let's note this. This is lap 54. He led lap 54. Troy Thomas led the first 53 laps. So Dunaway, let's just take a note of that. If we can have some sort of counter. Christian Hill, producer, this is your time to shine. The laps led counter.
And survey says, there it is.
Bang.
On cue.
Beautiful.
And that difference is going to factor in. There's still the potential of somebody else leading the most laps, though. If Dunaway plants it in front, Teft marginally quicker in this part of the run. Never mind, he just stepped out and lost the ground. Teft had been closing on the 01 marginally here. Now needs to reset. This is going to take another few laps to be able to get back up to that bumper.
Yeah, this is a really good battle right here. And it's actually really fascinating to me. So here's my thought process as Dunaway scrapes the outside wall. Once it does come time to pit, if this is still the order of these two drivers, if I'm Andrew Teft, I'm going for the overcut all day, every day, because I want to lead a lap and get that bonus point. That would be massive. And that would mean that Teft could finish second as long as Dunaway, doesn't gain any more bonus points. Or I should say Teft could finish third and still be the champion.
Caution.
Dunaway. Caution is out. Oh, boy.
And it's the back of the field.
Oh.
It's Alex Teft from 11th spot who loops it around and is currently parked at the side of the track. I think Kirby Wainscott may have come on and joined the scene too.
Oh man, well this is actually quite interesting because on fuel, that would be very close to going the rest of the way with one stop from here on out. They're gonna come down, all of them, to go down pit road right here. But, I mean, it's going to be a lot to ask the tires to do that. So if we go green the rest of the way, I don't think drivers are going to want to pit or not pit for 100 laps on these set of Goodyear tires. So let's see who wins the race off pit road. This is actually massive too.
Pit stop time. Teft is still coming around. Alex Teft specifically. Everybody else up at the Jackson again. This is going to use the old style pit stops because there is no pit wall for the crew to run over. Dunaway runs out first though. Andrew Teft. Brandon Sanfilippo comes around, and Troy Thomas in fourth. Riley Frost still maintains the top 5 all the way back to 7th. It's Blair Hoyman with his speed. Let's take a look at that replay you were talking about. The 43, quite simply, got loose on the bottom.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that happened. He enters really low, and when those tires are already really heated up, you're asking a lot. And Kirby Wainscott can't get out of the way, but is okay. He really stopped on a dime. That was pretty impressive from Kirby Wainscott in that 10 truck, but Alex Teft is just trying to get out of the way because trucks come very quickly here, and he's trying to make sure he doesn't lose that lap. Kirby Wainscott's got to be the most frustrated of them all as Teft just keeps backing up into that outside wall. A lot of, are you going? Am I going? It kind of looks like a 4-way intersection. You get there first? I got there first. You want to go? No, you go. Somebody go.
And well, 43's got the OL regardless here, so we are getting ready to go to the restart. With 97 laps to go, Wainscott, believe, did not pit. Green flag is out. Outside line didn't line up to the inside line. Andrew Teft still gets the better run despite that. Dunaway didn't get to the gears quickly, and now the 98 looks to clear.
He's got the faster line on the outside, but the tires being fresh all around, it's going to give Dunaway a good chance to get back. The lap is led, though, by Andrew Teft. That's massive, even if he doesn't take the lead after this battle.
Still not clear, still side by side behind for third also. Taft trying to give a lot of space, doesn't want to squeeze the 0-1, trying to leave some breathing room. Is this a little too much space? He's allowing Dunaway to be able to, if anything, be able to make the bottom line work and dig without the chance of Taft to try and squeeze him down here for the corner exit.
I was going to say the opposite. I think Dunaway is giving way too much space to Andrew Taft up against the wall. We see this a lot, where you don't want to make contact with another driver, but look at that. That's almost 2 truck lengths, truck widths, I should say, between the 98 and the 01. You want to maximize the angle, right, of that truck and where it kind of turns up the hill. You want to keep it as straight as possible. Well, Dunaway just turns left way more coming out of the corner. He should shoot way up higher, right up against that 98 to maximize his speed on the exit of these corners and to even maximize his entry. He's hurting his tires by driving the line he's driving in.
There it is. Dunaway able to clear on by meanwhile. Quickly approach the halfway mark soon as the rest of the field squabbles. The top 2 single file out. Troy Thomas for his effort. Still stuck on the high side. Is losing ground slowly but surely. Riley Frost trying to pass him by in the backdrop there. It just seems like the top line just does not work and we have trouble. Some smoke popping up. It's going to be Phil Archibald around. Caution flag is out. Archibald and Hoke make contact, and then Archibald goes around for the yellow.
I would say all these drivers who wanted to make these tires last the whole way, they're a lot happier to see that caution come out when it did. But for anybody that was hoping to go midway through this skip, that's going to be a harder task now to gain all that time. It's like a 33-second delta down pit road. It's not that much, and we saw the tire or the time lost over the course of this the first little bit of action we had here. First third of the race, you're looking at a second and a half of fall off by that point. So it could have come into play, and it still might. You already see some drivers topping off on fuel and getting some fresh tires if they're in the back of the pack.
So, with this caution flag, Troy Thomas, interesting enough, did come down pit road. 3, neglecting to top off here at the least, while the others were informed of some of the incidents. So, now it gets intriguing on strategy. We were mentioning the 65% fuel limit. Could make things a little bit tricky when it comes to gas mileage you're doing. It's going to become a bit decisive for some of those drivers at the back of the field here who are really going to have to hope that it stays green possibly to see if they can stretch to the end here.
Yeah, absolutely, and everybody should make it to the end. That should not be a problem. It's a half-mile track. We went to that first caution with 100 laps to go. 2 caution periods. They need to go around 50 miles. We've seen the average be around 52 to 57 miles. So they should make it, even if it stayed green the whole way, but I'm pretty confident they'll be fine. Even if they did not come down pit road. The biggest thing is just tires. And the drivers who did pit right now, I mean, they are on fresher tires for at least 6-lap, 7-lap fresher tires. That will come into play. I just wonder how quickly it will and how much of an effect it will have as we're getting ready to go back green next time by.
So here we go, coming up, 85 to go at the stripe on the season. Dunaway holds on. Then it's Andrew Taft, Sanfilippo, and Frost. Hollyman is now in the top 5. Gates in 6. Smith, Troy Thomas, last of those to pit. Starting in 8th, back it away, and Dunaway this time gets a much better restart. Andrew Taft trying to dig to clear on by for second. Looks like the answer is yes, he will. And the top 2 single file yet again. Frost is pushing hard to break the status quo up front.
Yeah, he's trying to do that, and we've seen Riley Frost throughout this season and the events that he's made always put up some heavy fighting, heavy battling This is his 10th race this season. He's got 5 top 5s coming into it, 7 top 10s. He's always in contention for a race win, just never seems to be able to get it done. 0 wins on the season, but right now he's in 3rd. He just got by San Filippo, and he's closing in on Andrew Teft.
See the drop 3, now top 5 or 7. Down bottom, the oil went up high. Smith and Hope just stepped out. Your spin, you see that in the bottom quarter, the 55 was able to hold on. Some of these drivers just getting snapped loose coming out of turn 4. Frost, for whatever reason, insisted on trying the high side here. More drivers stepping up. Hollyman again got loose in the back drop.
Yeah, wow, that is it is a hot race surface. It's cooled down, but not much, and it's still scorching at 118-degree track temperature, 81-degree air temperature. Look at all the drivers, one up into the wall on the outside of turn 3 and 4. Goodness me, everyone is going for everything that they've possibly got here, and we're only halfway through the race this time.
Halfway through. It's about keeping it clean from here on out. Right now, Andrew Teft is in the driver's seat for the championship. Sean Dunaway's led 29 laps so far tonight. Teft did get a couple led laps to his credit. So that bonus point differential not going to become a factor here. As long as the 98 doesn't spin, he's in the driver's seat to take home another championship. On the spot, the top 7 has stepped away here, Dylan.
I was going to say, interestingly enough, at this moment, it does not appear that we're going to have a faster in-race lap than the one that was run by, I believe, Riley Frost. Yes, Riley Frost with a 17.552. Second on that order with a 17.579 is Troy Thomas. Third, though, with a 17.584 is Andrew Teft. Best lap for Sean Dunaway is a 17.625. So, right now, Frost has got that bonus point for the fastest lap of the race. That could come into play in a big way if Andrew Teft doesn't come down for any more tires and doesn't have a good launch right off of those fresh tires. So, that is something to note here, and that's a bonus point off the table for both Dunaway and Teft. Now, if Dunaway is able to hold P1, is able to lead the most laps, and Teft finishes in second, it is a tie. that is pretty amazing, because Teft has got that bonus point for a lap led. Only 1 bonus point is available overall for the fastest lap, 1 bonus point overall for the most laps led. If Dunaway is able to do it, he's got a 5-point buffer. I believe maybe a 6-point buffer. Let me do some math again. This is intriguing.
So you're seeing right now, for now, just pacing themselves. By the way, there is a potential factor in all of this too, Dylan. It's Troy Thomas on 12 lap pressure tires is the fastest truck to the racetrack.
Yeah.
He's faster than the leaders and could potentially shuffle things by a point or two. Thomas just charged his way to the top 5 and is running really quick in that second pack away from these leaders as we go.
I think the question is, how long is he going to be able to maintain that pace? Yes, he's got tires that do not have 6 or 7 laps more rubber on them than the leaders right now in this race. Thomas is fast. Now, Dunaway, the biggest thing for him is to win this race, right? You need that additional 4-point buffer from first to second to really give yourself a shot, especially with how fast Andrew Teft is, and especially what we know Teft can't do on short ovals. He is awesome week in, week out when it comes to tracks under a mile in length, really any racetrack, right? He's got 5 wins out of 12 races on the year so far. So the dude is fast wherever we go. It just seems like he turns up another level once we do get to these short tracks. We're around 10 laps away, by the way, I believe, for Dunaway to get the most laps led in this race at the moment. And that is very intriguing. Right now, if that's what happens, I can tell you the math says this. These two would be tied. If Dunaway has the fastest lap in the race, if Dunaway has the most laps led in the race, wins this race, and tapped with that one bonus point he already gained, 5-point difference, tie ball game. Count back though is top 10s over the course of the season, and Sean Dunaway has not that. Andrew Teff does. He's got 11 top 10s. He is 12th. Sean Dunaway, it would be his 11th. So, Teff still has that buffer, but Riley Frost is right there.
See how things go here with this fight now as we close up in the race. Right now, no change, just consistent running. That's all you can say for that differential here. It's going to be interesting where things go. So right now, what do you think is going through Teff's mind knowing the situation here? You mentioned all the point breakdowns. This could get really dicey here, especially if the 98 can find something next few laps here with the track cooling down.
I mean, I don't think there's anything more that we haven't said, right? It's just a battle of staying steadfast right now. It is, you got to white knuckle a little bit, right? This race, you're gonna have to go longer than you wanted to at any single point on one set of tires. If they don't go for a pit stop here, the biggest thing that I think any of the top 2 or top 3, top 4, heck, with Blair Hollyman want to see is another caution to come out, because then it makes the decision a lot easier for them to come down pit road. It kind of equals the field out just a little bit. But nonetheless, wow, this is pretty awesome racing, as we see Kirby Wainscott right there. Can't quite see on my production feed. It's a little bit pixelated, but is this the lap that we're seeing the lap sled change?
Well, that's a great question. The answer is, well, no, is what we're hearing on the other side of things. Teff is now falling behind Frost. That changes next lap, though, Dylan.
Okay, beautiful. So he leads this lap, and then he's provisionally, or at least this lap, I believe, he will have the most laps led in this race at the time. Okay, so they're tied. They're tied. Dunaway leads the next lap. He will get that other bonus point provisionally. However, he leads a few more laps, and the only person that will be able to contend with him is Troy Thomas for the most laps led. So this is going very well for Sean Dunaway, and look who's in P2 right now.
Riley Frost. Yeah,
Riley
Andrew
Frost.
Teff. This would put Teff out of the championship league.
Correct. Yes.
So Teff needs that spot back. He needs to figure out something. Frost, though, is more consistent right now by a couple 100s per lap. He actually ran the quickest lap that I6 did, but the caution is out. This changes everything again. Kensley Smith goes around for the spin.
I would say this changes only a tiny bit. This makes it much more straightforward for drivers like Dunaway, Frost, Teff, Hollyman. But I will say Troy Thomas will probably go down pit road as well if he sees the top 4 go down the pits in front of him. Is this just a solo spin from Kensley Smith? It appears like it will be. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Around it goes. No damage to the truck. Pardon me, excuse me. No damage to the truck.
Lord! JP! What? Are you drinking a big 2-liter gallon or 2-liter bottle of soda right now?
Don't you for the broadcast?
Listen, man, I only do a 0.9 liter, little bit of a soda.
That's very specific. Where did you even
is.
get that bottle?
Well, from Amazon.com. Not sponsored by them, by the way. I can't believe you just belched on air. We have Riley Frost in the lead of this race off of pit road, by the way.
Yeah, my apologies once again there, that situation. But we do have that. Oh, hold on. It's Dunaway in front. I was about to say, He got the edge barely. So Dunaway still gets to hold on to lead laps here, interestingly. Frost still on the outside. Taft has to go for it immediately off the start, Dylan.
Yeah, 100%. I would say this makes it, I don't know who this favors. I do know that it definitely hurt Troy Thomas a little bit more than the rest of them, but this equals the competition out. This is going to be a very straightforward run to the finish as long as we don't have cautions here. It's going to be a shorter stint than the one they were going, or at least most of them were going, for the first bit of the race. We're going to see some fast laps here. Now, we also might see a swap of the fastest lap overall. If we do see that, with temps going to 112 degree Fahrenheit with faster tires, we could see another swap of, hope for the championship here. Keep your eye on that.
Green flag is out. Back underway. Dunaway clears in contact behind. Thomas gets a little archy-bargy. Hope going 3 wide to the outside. Gates squeaks his way past the 3. A little bit of chaos there, but it's still side by side for the race lead, with Frost trying to get the edge and is getting the edge on Dunaway up front.
Just a slight edge by Riley Frost on the outside. This is hurting that potential of a swap of fastest laps in the race. Oh boy, this is quite intriguing.
Here we go with Frost trying to clear on by, way to the outside. Bit of a slide. Dunaway, no! From the championship lead, hits the wall. Dunaway hits the inside, fits into the back, goes Dunaway, and what could be a championship coster?
Yeah, that's it. That is over for Dunaway. Unless he's able to get back through the field and a caution comes out, that is championship deciding. Wow.
Unbelievable. All he had to do was either ride or just stay in front, try and outscore Taft, try and find a way around Frost later. Instead, it's Andrew Taft's championship to lose again.
Yeah, that was, my goodness, you just get into your head a little bit, you're white-knuckling it a little bit, and that was the first time really all race that we've seen a driver have the advantage and really attack when he had the lead of that race. Just couldn't hold on to it. That's a shame for Sean Dunaway. Race is not over, but you have a feeling if we don't have a caution, then that's almost absolutely race over. Now, you could see a caution come out within the next 10, 15 or so laps. He goes down pit road. No one else does. And now all of a sudden he's got a faster truck. But a lot of question marks here. Andrew Taft currently leads Blair Hollyman.
Yikes is all you can say again in that situation. Taft just needs to keep it clean from here as Hollyman tries to find a way to charge a little bit deeper of the corner. 32's not afraid to use up the front. Try and get to the bumper. Try and find a way to wrap around and see if they can get some lead laps here. Problem has been he's not been able to get the long run.
Blair Hollyman has no bonus points, has not led a lap in this race so far. Andrew Taft has. So entered this race 6 points behind Andrew Taft. And right now is actually looking like 8 points behind. So this would be a 2-point swing if he's able to get the move done on Taft, who goes a little bit defensive and kind of just mirror drives a bit of what that 32 is doing. I mean, he's right over the back bumper of the 98. And it is short track racing. So
yeah, I don't know if we're going to see a bump and run this series. Normally, we've seen clean racing be the goal. Monroe is battling the rears more than anything else, continuously sliding that truck.
It's all about how hard you go with the dump and run. Just how about a little nudge and pass? That's fair. That's clean racing to me. As long as you're not Austin Dillon at Richmond.
Yeah. That
Or Sammy Smith at Martinsville. Or Ty Gibbs at Martinsville. May I continue?
Which time with Ty Gibbs? Well, all you can say was 37 laps to go. I'm in. Not close enough to go for it here. And Taft is starting to stretch out his long run legs. Only 2/10 of fall off so far on the course. The run, actually, believe it or not, so far. Dunaway only holding on to 12 from that spin. Everybody else staying in the conga line here, trying to go from here to the end. So, give a shout out to a decent night on recovery for Alex Taft. He's got it up to 8th. He's actually, the 43 truck is running better than he was before the spin, the brother Andrew. Outside of that, most of the field has kind of stayed in place tonight.
Yeah, there hasn't been too much movement throughout the field. Hard to pass. That's why I'm saying you got to get the elbows out. You got to be a little bit aggressive here if you want to move up through the field. It's the last race of the season. If you have a chance, do it.
So, how they roll, how they go, how they try and stand for now. Here comes Hoke trying to take the outside, the 55. Throughout the night, it's kind of also been amongst the misfits stuck in place. Caution flag is out. There's a yellow flag, and it's for Barry Nelson.
Oh, it changes the game.
Yet again, what's the tire situation going to be like? There were 4 total sets of the pit lanes. They have a couple sets left, is the estimates outside of Troy Thomas, who's about to burn his last likely.
Also, just because this brings Sean Dunaway back into the picture, Dunaway, so Riley Frost, even if he kept the lead of this race for a much longer time, I don't believe Frost can catch up. I think he'll be a few laps behind in most laps led. So I still think Troy Thomas is the only other one that has an opportunity to unseat Sean Dunaway. I think he's the only other one, if we can get confirmation of that at some point. But yeah, here's, oh wow, that's a weird place to just start getting loose. But we've seen Alex Taft at a little earlier than that. But we haven't really seen corner exit be an issue for too many tonight. And by exit, I mean that low and that far into the exiting of the corner.
I've seen a couple times where drivers have fought it loose, but no one's actually spun it there tonight.
Yeah.
Barry Nelson actually lapped himself with pit stop cycle too, so it's not going good for the 196. But look who's leading. 2 tires, Andrew Taft.
All right. Well, this just got interesting because I can't quite see, if we put it on the screen, what our pit decisions were throughout the field. But what I'm seeing from the timing table right now is that Sean Dunaway also did 2 tires.
Here we go. Dunaway on 2 tires, got to 9th, by the way. Didn't really help his cause. Andrew Taft looking to walk off for a championship, looking for his 3rd consecutive. Green flag is out, already off of the, oh, near contact. That's borderline. Did Taft try and change lanes a bit there? He squeezed up there towards the middle.
Oh boy, are we going to see another black flag impact this championship race? It definitely looked like he just ran right up before even getting to the start-finish line. You can't switch lines as we see Hollyman get very squirrely coming off the exit.
Philip Archibald brings out the caution flag. The 99 was running in 11th. Second spin for the Foothills truck tonight.
All right, well, Sean Dunaway currently is scored in 7th, now 8th, so they're still swapping a little bit. Let's look at a replay here of this wreck, but I'd also like to see a replay of the restart. Archibald down the inside of Troy Thomas, now clear. Sends it in a little deep, and wow, I think I don't even know what happened there on corner entry, but I don't even know if he really did anything except scrape the wall and give us a nice little burnout.
Yeah, surprised on that. We'll see this run the green flag. I believe nothing called on the 98 here, as near contact there because there was a wiggle, but right there, he was definitely on the outside.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. You know, if you're a driver in this championship fight, you don't want to win it from a race control call, but here's another look at it. I mean, you be the judge here. Goes early. Riley got a little bit loose and got into Andrew Teft, but Teft just continues moving up the track, and you see he kind of has this oh shoot moment and comes down the track. That, I would say that's a little more than borderline, actually.
Yeah, and don't think anything's been called out there. 24 to go. He still has the inside for the restart over Frost. Hoyman and Gates on the top 4. Can't confirm. Dunaway. Restart in 8th on the outside. 23 lap dash to decide a championship. Andrew Teft right now your provisional champion if things hold. Has to be picture perfect though, because one slide can completely change the equation. Green flag is out. This time a little bit better. Frost spun the tires though. He's fighting for second.
That's what a good restart looks like, and makes it even more, you know, stand out that last restart. I think it would have been a little bit ticky-tacky. I'm happy that it wasn't called, but it was a little over the line. If it was, I don't like to change, you know, to swallow the whistle once it's late in a battle. But oh man, that would have been rough.
Absolutely. Archibald, by the way, has been black flagged for that second cause caution drive-through penalty. 99. Come out right next to the leaders here as Frost does hold on to second with 20 to go at the stripe. Lap traffic stays low. That will allow things to steady out. First battle for position is for 4th between Gates and Sanfilippo. There's the 20 to go marker. Andrew Teft still holding on, still running 17 fours.
Yeah, really, really solid drive right now from Andrew Teft, who's been really in the top 2 for the large majority of this race. But Riley Frost is fast, and he's right there. Blair Hollyman, we've seen what he can do on the start of a run where it looked like it was all completely over for him earlier on in this race when he fell off of a cliff early in the going. But he's still in this battle. It's not, you know, an unforeseen circumstance for him to still win this title. It just looks to all be in the favor of Andrew Teft.
Could change potentially though, depending on what happens in the closing stages. We know that Teft going to be looser, but the caution flag waves again. It's going to be Gates. 77 from 4th is around. So a hit to the wall for Alex Gates. Puts us under caution again. And now it becomes the question, what do you do on strategy with this late in the race to go?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what the right call is. I think, you know, Dunaway's in P6, right? Teft's in 1st, Hollyman's in 3rd. That's just a hard hit for Gates right there. I don't know if I would roll the dice and go down pit road if I'm Sean Dunaway. If I'm Andrew Teft or Blair Hollyman, no, I'm staying out. I'm staying out right now. If I'm Sean Dunaway, I'm considering going down pit road, but I don't know if I actually would, and I don't believe he is. But the Alex Gates, Kirby Wainscott, Jesse Fox connection all did come down pit road, Dunaway would have been in a decent spot if he did come down into the pits, because in all likelihood, he would have come out in 9th place. And he would have lost 3 positions, that's it. So I think I would have taken that, to be quite honest with you. I didn't like the 2-tire call in the first place, to be quite honest.
Well, bets made is the tough part. Phil Archibald's the only one coming down pit road here to burn a set.
Well, Wainscott, Jesse Fox, Archibald, and Gates all did.
Yes. They're all towards the back of the field regardless. Gates was in the wall.
Right, of course.
Thanks for the correction there, but all that being said here, 77 ended longest line. Can anyone do anything to make the move is the question here. Right now, Blair Hollyman might have to be very brave here if he wants to try and steal any chance for the title here.
Gosh, I don't know, man. This is, you gotta be brash, right? Let's just say Blair Hollyman is able to win this race. That opens the door once again for a swap of positions. As a matter of fact, you know, he came down 6 points. If Dunaway wins it, and Frost, or excuse me, if Hollyman wins it, I'll do the math afterwards. Take the start.
So back on our way, Hollyman's going for the lead. Good start for the 32. Tuft didn't close the door. Hollyman looking to strip it away. He needs a bit of luck if he wants the title. He needs the lead lap, but also needs Tuft to start to follow it. Can Hollyman steal it away? Coming to 10 to go. He's pushing up.
Yeah, this is some good fighting right now. Hollyman needs to win this race realistically, but he also needs Andrew Teft to go down the order just a tad. That's a lap lead for Blair Hollyman, huge, but it kind of puts him on equal footing with Andrew Teft. Look at that, down the block, Teft gets a little bit loose. Oh man, we've got a race for the championship here.
All sorts of chaos.
Look at Dunaway.
Yeah, Dunaway's going for it. He's trying to make up all the spots immediately. 8 to go. Alex Teft gets out of the line. 9 to go, should say, coming to 8. All while Dunaway moves his way on through. Sanfilippo slams the door.
Right now, in the championship provisionally, Hollyman is behind Teft by just 2 points. Hollyman does not have the tiebreaker, so you're going to have to see Teft fall not just to 3rd or 4th, but to 5th for Hollyman to win this race and for Teft to lose the title.
Oh, a big bobble in the background. Trouble in the corner. Smith has turned around Alex Teft. And another caution. So where do the points lie? Believe Andrew Teft still holds on, but needs second.
No, he does not.
What does he need?
Andrew Teft just needs 4th at the moment if Blair Hollyman wins this race. There's a 4-point gap right now or I should say, you have a 4-point buffer because they are tied on bonus points in this race with 1 lap lead each, or at least a lap lead bonus point for both Teft and Blair Hollyman. That's a 4-point swing, right? 46 to 42 points, plus the bonus point 47 to 43. Now, you lose 1 point from 2nd to 3rd to 4th to 5th. Right in this moment, Hollyman is still behind Teft by 2 points. And Teft holds the tiebreaker, which is most top 10s in a season. So he needs to lose another 3 points, 3 distinct positions. That's what we've got to see here. So we've got to see not just 3rd, not just 4th, but he's got to finish in 5th to give an opportunity to Hollyman.
The reason for the caution, by the way, stack up at the back. Alex Teft going around again. That with help from Smith. Both of them did come down pit road. And again, stacked us up from the incident. It's not been the funnest of times as of late 43. right there with the contact, and Truth Hoke driving through it like a dump truck.
This is really setting us up for an awesome final fight for the championship. And I think we're going to see overtime here to decide it. Can't quite see who has the most laps led, but is it, if we can hear it right there, so Sean Dunaway, is anyone else able to get those laps led if we don't have? Okay, so it looks like Sean Dunaway, no one will be able to pass him. We're back to green flag racing, JP.
2 laps to go on the season. Andrew Taft trying to hold on to the championship lead, falls down to 3rd. Hoyman leads up front. Taft trying to march around the bottom of the racetrack as we take the white flag this time by. Final time around in the championship. 10 got a black flag on the last lap, doesn't matter up front. It's now down to see who picks up the win. Frost trying to take it away. Can't get to the bumper. Frost gets loose. Blair Hoyman gets the win. Slide for second as Andrew Taft unofficially has the championship.
No, he's officially got it. He would have had it even in 3rd, just finishing in 2nd makes it better. Blair Hollyman wins the race, but Andrew Taft is going to win the title by just 2 points over Blair Hollyman. Wow.
No burnout celebration in the 32. Gets the chance to celebrate. Big crashes on the pace lap. What an ending here, Dylan. Out of the final corner, Ronnie Frost got loose and gave a point back to the 98.
Yeah, it looked like it was setting up to be quite interesting, but Taft, he just set his truck right up on to that white line, the apex, in each set of corners. Wouldn't let anyone get underneath him, and no one was going to put a dive bomb, I think, on that last lap if it was Brandon Sanfilippo behind him. If it was, Sean Dunaway, maybe, but I don't know if that would have happened. But great job by Blair Hollyman on the recovery. Great job for Andrew Taft and Sean Dunaway. I think it's a matter of what could have been. Because if he won this race and Hollyman came in 2nd, Taft came in 3rd, we'd be looking at a new champion.
Confirmation is in on the final tallies. 2,190 to Taft. 2,187 to Hoyman, 2,182 to Dunaway. So Hoyman does secure with the victory 2nd in the standings, but it's going to be Taft, Andrew Taft, who is a 3-time champion.
Man, he got the fastest lap on one of the final laps of the race, too. So he was more than fine, Andrew Taft was. For winning this title. He would have had to drop down to 6th outside the top 5 for Blair Hollyman to be the champion.
So Andrew Taft not burning out for his celebration. There are several drivers that are destroying the race trucks in the back straightaway. That's why you see a bit of smoke and chaos there. But celebration's on, a part of the championship finale for this season. With that being said, we'll take a quick step aside. Post-race coverage coming up after this little message. You're watching Maconi Entertainment.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Maconi Entertainment for tonight's coverage of Racers Elite and what was a thrilling end to the Family Traditions RV Rentals Fixed Truck Series season. Let's take a look at your race results here. Things are in time and scored, and as we mentioned with the points tally, Blair Hoyman got a win, but it wasn't enough to beat Andrew Taft, who finished in second. Raleigh Frost in third. Sam Filippo and Dunaway the top five. Could have been Dunaway's championship if he didn't have that moment up at the front. Troy Thomas finished ahead of Jesse Fox with Archibald, Hoke, and Alex tapped your top 10, Dylan.
Yeah, and of course, Alex Gates, Kirby Wayne, Scott, Barry Nelson, Kensley Smith, and Kyle Hess round out your order. Don't think Kyle turned a lap, so only 14 drivers were really officially in the race tonight. But yeah, what a great race we had, and it's time to talk to our series champion, and JP. You're standing alongside Andrew Taft.
Yes, indeed. Andrew Taft, a three-time consecutive champion. It came down to a couple points, Andrew. How does it feel to win an air championship?
Oh yeah, that was nerve-wracking. Just want to thank everybody for racing me clean, and I think it came down to about 3 points at the end, and there's a lot of variables with the fastest lap bonus point and lap sled bonus point, so it's hard to know exactly what's going on. But yeah, just thankful it all worked out, and I almost lost it in turn one on one of those final laps and threw it away. So glad I was able to hold on to it, and Riley gave me some space there to gather it back up.
Yeah, it seemed like a chaotic battle at some points when it came to trying to get yourself up towards the front tonight. How would you describe the difficulty to get yourself into the prime position to win this championship?
Yeah, it was I felt like a second or third place car, and then one of those late cautions happened, and I really wanted control of the restart, so I opted for 2 tires to sort of make sure I got it, unless Riley took 2, but luckily he didn't. And I think I was okay there if the final couple cautions didn't come out. But after a few consecutive ones, the 2 tires started to matter, and once Blair got underneath me, I got super tight up top and couldn't really do much, and was just hoping I could hold on to second or third, and hoping the math worked out.
So with that being said, now what's your focus going to be like next season? I know from what I heard you're doing the broadcast. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a break. It's the third consecutive title, so thought I'd try something new and hop in the booth, and should have a lot of insight on different drivers' driving styles and that sort of thing. So a little outside my comfort zone, but hey, what the heck? Got to try new things.
So on that note, anyone you want to give a shout out to on the way to this championship?
I just want to thank everybody again for racing clean. It's been a really great season. Not a ton of cautions, a lot of respect. I want to thank Family Traditions RV Rentals, our series sponsor. They've been a great addition, and I want to thank our servicemen and women, you guys, for helping out in the booth all season. Maconi Entertainment, if you need a broadcaster for your league, they do a fantastic, high quality job. So give Jeff Maconi a shout, and I want to thank friends, family, team, and everybody that tunes in to watch, shows up to race. And if you want to check us out, just head on over to racerselite.com.
Congrats on the championship, Andrew.
Thank you, guys.
Andrew Teft gets himself a championship once again in the trucks. He has won a lot of championships as of late. He adds to that legacy here tonight. So, after that run, we also have Blair Hoyman standing on lawn with He's with Dylan.
Yeah, Blair, you win the race, you come up just a little bit short in the championship, but you've got to be proud of that fight back from that spin earlier on.
Oh yeah. First run, I learned how to burn off tires successfully. I made it up to second and fell all the way back to like eighth, and I was just along for the ride there for a little while.
You know, it was a really spirited battle, especially on the restarts coming down late. That final restart, though, it was very decisive from you. You went straight to the inside. You didn't give as much room as we had seen before on runs down the inside, which I was honestly very thrilled to see. Um, you, I feel like in a championship battle like this, right, where you're competing all year, where it comes down to the wire, it can be very easy to go a little bit over the line, but we didn't see that at all tonight. Um, do you feel like you wouldn't take anything back about how this championship kind of unfolded for you?
I don't think I would have changed anything. I take pride in not wrecking people. I like to be one of the hardest people to pass, but I make sure at least give you room to try to make something happen. But I'm not a big fan of, oh well, I'm getting race dirty. I'm gonna just junk the car. Don't let the rowdy burn scheme fool you. I'm not gonna wreck somebody in here. But for
Well,
the
I'm happy to hear that.
for the 11 starts we have no finish worse than fifth. I think I was able to maximize what I was able to do. Um, Realistically, I think the only thing I probably would have changed differently out of the whole chase was just the pit stop sequence at Kansas, maybe. But honestly, as it was, I can't complain. That was pretty straightforward. I didn't do anything egregious, too bad. I mean, other than the eight truck, I know Curtis is still looking for me, but yeah. All in all, good chase. I'm glad Andrew got it done there, but it was a good chase. Those four races were entertaining and definitely a lot of good racing.
Well, I was certainly entertained. I hope everybody else watching was as well. Blair, here's your time. Thank you'd like to thank for how this season unfolded.
Yeah, I want to give a couple quick shout outs. I know Yost wasn't here this last two nights, well, last two races with his job. He's forced to work now. It's overtime, 6 days a week, 10-hour shifts. So I know he's exhausted, but I'm glad he hopefully got to see us get a win here. Now my dad's watching. Hope he was entertained as well. I know we're running Rowdy Burns, but on the deck lid we got a Holloman Napa Auto Parts, my cousin's Tad's business. And all in all, just thank you guys for putting on a good broadcast this season. Andrew, I hope you enjoy the booth next season, and hopefully we can keep you entertained as he joins y'all up there.
Heck yeah. All right, Blair. Congratulations once again on the race win and a spirited championship
Thank
fight.
guys. You have a good one.
We're Hoyman coming away with the win. Top 3 also went the way of one Raleigh Frost. Raleigh, you're pushing hard out there. How did the truck feel?
I definitely used everything it had. Probably should have saved it. Took it a bit easier on them tires, but it is what it is.
How difficult was it with the track temperatures early on in the race? It seemed like a few drivers were slipping and sliding out there.
Yeah, it was definitely, you had to take her easy on throttle, and she, a little bit loose, but it was manageable.
So with that being said here, what's the plan for next season coming up?
We're going to try and make next season. I don't know if we will or not, but we're going to try.
Well then, on that note, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
You guys up there in the booth, Family Traditions Outdoors, and everybody watching at home.
Congratulations on the podium, Raleigh.
Thank you.
Raleigh Frost rounds out the top 3. I'd like to thank the entire top 3 for speaking with us during post-race coverage here on Maconi Entertainment. Your final thoughts on tonight, Dylan, and this season as the championship comes to a close and this series lends over to Racers Elite Network next season in-house.
I mean, it was a blast to cover this series. Some really awesome racing. You didn't have any one race feel like it was a domination fest amongst here. Andrew Teft was obviously season most wins the championship. But it was fun. It was a great time. I'm happy we were a part of it.
Well, on that note, it's time to say goodbye. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in for this season's championship and the action here on Maconi Entertainment. Cover the action tonight was myself, Justin Prince, alongside Dylan Coyle. Christian Hill was producing. Thanks to our viewers for watching tonight's racing action. Hope you stay tuned to our social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.